Welcome to Daily Fortune, where we talk about the latest topic about finance and investment. But before that, please don't forget to click the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I upload new videos. Now, let's get started. In the list of people with influence, for sure names like Biden and Musk would make the list. Although they are in two different worlds, one being in politics and the other being in the world of entrepreneur and science, you may say they don't totally live in parallel, and at some point one is totally more dependent on the other and that they may still cross each other. I'm talking about how the government's lifeblood is the result of the work of entrepreneurs. Almost everything businessmen do that has results are taxable. This, then in different ways, returns to the people in form of health assistance, security, and even orderliness that the leader of a nation takes charge of. In a matter we may not really know, the government has its own ways of being a bridge for businesses to grow more. Besides, businessmen still adhere to the policies and laws of the nation as they still form part of the community. But having names that ring a lot of bells to people, you wouldn't think these people would actually have matters to not agree on when one is working for people and one is working with the people. I am talking about the feud that who knows when will end between the CEO of Tesla Motors, world's leading electric vehicles producer, and the United States of America's leader, President Joe Biden, and his administration is currently facing right making the people think of the individual's personal views in certain topics in the society. It's amazing how people are so invested in it. I guess this is how influential people do it. The key players in the economy of America. They are so important that President Biden even celebrated an event, especially for the makers of the electric vehicles at the White House on August 5, 2021, the EV Summit. Aside from the objective of the president to have a goal for the automakers to slash greenhouse gas emissions by 2030, which according to him could happen if 50% of all vehicles produced by then would be electric, the event stirred even more when knowledge of the absence of Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla Motors, came to surface. This was confirmed when the CEO himself tweeted about how odd it was that Tesla wasn't invited. Would you consider it just a mere coincidence when other leaders in the industry, like the CEO of General Motors, Mary Barra, and CEO of Ford Motor Company, James Farley Jr. were invited, but the world's largest maker of electric vehicles was not? Imagine the objective of the summit was to persuade automakers and to make the goal happen, and not inviting the very person who was already one step ahead in making it happen. As the American mutual fund manager and investor, Ron Barron, who is an early Tesla investor, the occurrence of the event and the absence of invitation for Tesla is just ridiculous and even refers to it as crazy, considering how GM, Ford, and Chrysler got recognition in advancing towards a nation of electric vehicles and not invite Tesla. As though this was not enough, people who recognized the impact of Tesla in the world even noticed how the president did not recognize the efforts and bravery of the 4 civilian astronauts who completed the mission of the SpaceX, which is also funded by Tesla Motors' CEO, which surpassed $200 million in its fundraising goal for St. Jude's Children Research. Imagine the dismay the followers of Elon must have felt after there were no signs of any recognition for the so-awaited flight of the 4 civilian astronauts after a few setbacks and delays caused by health and weather. An event that matched history as their flight also resulted in the 600th person to step on the moon, yet there was no recognition. The public were even more fond of it than the government. With the following circumstances, the man behind the success of Tesla couldn't help but think that this may be the effect of the union, even calling the President of America the puppet of the union. This has also come to the mind of those who gave attention to the summit as well. The White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki was asked about Tesla's absence at the event. When asked if it has something to do with Tesla being a non-union company, Psaki replied, "Well, these are the 3 largest employers, GM, Ford, Chrysler, of the United Auto Workers, so I'll let you draw your own opinions." That statement seems to have something more in between. Unions are organizations that represent workers and guarantee basic necessities of a worker, like decent wages, health care, and job security. Elon has been asked a few times about his thoughts about the union in his main media outlet, Twitter, and he has always been open to his thoughts about unions and how well their workers are benefited even without it. He is confident that his workers are paid well and are having the best life as employees in his company. In fact, he recognizes the success of Tesla Motors is caused by his workers who work non-stop for the company, and people are just loving him more for this. In one tweet by what seems to be a follower of the billionaire, the unrecognition of Tesla Motors during the EV summit is an insult to the workers of Tesla Motors who worked their way in making the company elevate in all its outputs. And Elon was quick to agree on this on his tweet dated on November 19, 2021. During the summit, one of the guests invited by the nation's leader is the Team United Auto Workers, or UAW, which is one of the largest unions in America. Although the objectives of union is to be of help to the workers, this may not be the thing with UAW, since to date, 16 of the leaders of UAW have been charged for improper spending of the funds, which is actually from the workers' money, since workers, to be part of the union, have to pay 1.44% of their gross pay. This could actually be the very reason as to why Elon decided to keep his company non-unionized. This is just another thing from maybe a few more reasons between the rising issue of Musk and Biden. Another is how Elon is not supportive of the unrealized gain tax on stocks that are not yet sold, which the politicians are aiming to implement and that the administration is in total support of. As a natural occurrence, people can be taxed for wages they get in working, but assets and stocks are only taxed when they are realized or sold. The implication of the implementation of this kind of tax to high and mighty people is still a maze, although a lot have been saying they are the only ones who will benefit from it. But it is for certain that common people like you and I could never do, as the chance to earn from long-term investments is off the table. As Elon has a lot of supporters just for bringing so much positive impact into the world, it is not a surprise that his views on issues he wants to talk about and things his name is connected to can influence a lot of people. This has been proven by how well people are ready to call out the administration for recognizing GM as the leader of the industry of the electric vehicles and not Tesla, even though the latter has officially led the electric vehicle race. And the feud just escalates. As if Musk calling the president biased is not enough, this time even the mother of Elon, model and dietitian Mae Musk, find it hilarious how Biden's speech could be a speech made in the 90s, and 90s are not so current. You would say it's a biased comment since it came right from the billionaire's mother, but the same comments from the people on Twitter would sure make you think twice. A lot find the actions of the administration equally funny and even unnecessary. In fact, the questions being thrown to Elon on Twitter is making his battle against the Biden administration escalate with numerous issues they just both couldn't agree on, and people are quick to understand and agree with the former's point. Setting aside the subject of politics, Tesla has always been a game changer and people are fully aware of the lack of recognition it's getting from the government. It is safe to assume people see it as a useless trick to mess with Elon's head with such actions. Although Tesla does not need the government and its validation, it is for certain that the government is in need of Tesla for the significant climate progress it is giving the place their cars were able to reach. As the world of politics, as we all know, is certainly influenced by a lot of factors in its backbone as well, it is definitely not reasonable to not give a floor for the name who gave a piece of his mind in every product under him for America. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something from today's video, and to get updated with the next videos, please don't forget to hit the notification bell. See you next time!